What's up, everyone? Welcome to This Day in Philly Sports History for August 4th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Good win for the Phils yesterday. Michael Lorenzen was awesome in his debut. Not only did he get the win, gave the bullpen a much-needed rest, went 8 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. Phils won 4-2. Welcome back to JT. Hit a home run in the second. Brandon Marsh had a 2 RBI single. And now, ordinarily, this should be, let's breathe. The Royals are coming into town for the weekend series. Should be relatively stress-free. The schedule should be opening up and getting slightly easier over the next few weeks. But this is the Phillies, so you never know what's going to happen. Should be a productive weekend, but we shall see. If you do want more Phillies coverage, check out our friends at 2008 Phils. They have the world's largest Phillies email newsletter. Tons of great articles on there. Gave out a couple free subscriptions this week. Already people are excited about it. So check it out. If you want, it's a 75% off of your subscription exclusively for This Day in Philly Sports History listeners. Check out the link in the description. You get access to everything they have. There are full archives, discussion boards. You get that 2008 World Series banner t-shirt. 2008 Phils will follow your Twitter account if you want, and that's huge if you're trying to build your brand. Access to giveaways and tickets and autographs and memorabilia and all kinds of good stuff. I told you about the 1980 powder blue shirt with the banner. Like, it was just incredible. I need to get my hands on one of them. But go check it out. $2 a month, $20 for the year. Definitely worth it. Just follow the link in the description. Another quick housekeeping note. There was a new Back to the Future I posted last night. Football season is officially back. It's Hall of Fame weekend. I took a look at 2 borderline former Eagles players who are borderline Hall of Famers and talked about their candidacy, where they stand, what they could have done differently. So go check that out. It's always fun to start talking Eagles on Back to the Future. That's Back to the Future with a PH, available wherever you get your podcast. All right, Union. They are moving on. They had a 0-0 tie with DC United, but did win it on penalty kicks. They will play the New York Red Bulls. If you want to show your support for the Union or any of your Philly teams, I keep telling you, PhillyGoat.com has an amazing selection. They're always coming up with new t-shirts. They have the Eagles Kelly Green collection they have is phenomenal. You may have seen or heard Hugh Douglas talking about them. They are legit. I can't wait to get a couple of the hoodies as we get closer to football season. But go check out PhillyGoat.com. It's a great place to start your back-to-school shopping for your kids, for yourself, for anyone. But be sure to use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. You won't be disappointed. Again, it's well worth it. PhillyGoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery. Okay, today we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit of boxing. And on this day, back in 1947, Ike Williams from Trenton, New Jersey, knocked out Philly's own Bobcat Bob Montgomery in the 6th round of their light heavyweight matchup. It was a unifying match where both guys came in with one of the belts. I forget the way it was set up in the 4. I think there's only 2 belts, Ben, but they came in unifying the belts. Basically, Ike Williams just beat the crap out of him, and the fight took place at Municipal Stadium, which was the old JFK Stadium, in front of like 30,000 people, and Williams was able to avenge his loss from 1943 when Bob Montgomery knocked him out. And these two were bitter rivals. They legitimately hated each other, and there was like some personal issues. Montgomery knocked out one of his friends, and he didn't like the way the match went down or something. So just another chapter in the rich boxing history of Philadelphia. But on this day, it was Ike Williams from Trenton knocking out Bobcat Bob Montgomery from Philadelphia, unifying the light heavyweight championships in front of Montgomery's hometown in or in front of Montgomery's hometown fans at the old Municipal Stadium, which would be later be called JFK Stadium. And I just talked about Philly Goat, but I mean, I didn't even mention they have a ton of Philly boxing stuff if you want to go there as well. They have Rocky. They have that Mr. Sandman shirt I have. So be sure to go check out Philly Goat. And hopefully you don't get knocked out like Bob Montgomery did on this day. All right, it's time to shift gears slightly and to our 31 questions in 31 days about the Eagles. I mentioned that football season started. I am pumped. We started to look at the schedule. Now we're with the coaching staff. We're going to stay with offense today and just what is the status of the Eagles running backs? This year, you have DeAndre Swift, who they picked up, Rashard Penny, who they picked up, still have Kenny Gainwell, still have Boston Scott. Miles Sanders, you lost, who was a Pro Bowler, who I never really did come around to Miles Sanders, but it's basically he had a lot of good production last year, probably the best year of his career. So you have to replace that. They're probably going to use more of a committee approach this year, and that's why they brought in Swift and Penny. The NFL, and you know what's going on right now, they're moving away from the bell cow back where you got the guy that's going to get 300 carries and just do it. And I like the approach the Eagles are taking this year, the committee approach, because you have Rashard Penny, who's like the big bruising back, kind of like the old school bell cow, but he's got an injury history. I mean, he's constantly hurt, but he's not going to have to be the bell cow, so he can be that short yardage back. He can be the guy that's going to ice the game away late if they have a lead. Then you got DeAndre Swift, who's the faster of the two, the quickest, I guess, and he's got the best hands of the bunch as well. So you have him running out of the backfield probably on third downs, maybe even some early downs, depending on what the play calling and the game plan dictates. And then you got Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott, who just against the Giants alone, you want to have him in there because he kills the Giants. So they're in there to change the pace. And like I really like the way they've constructed this for the new NFL. Like they don't have that one guy that's going to carry the load. And quite frankly, they don't need to. And they got guys in there with Penny and Swift who, when they've had the option to be the bell cow, have gotten hurt. So I think it's smart the way how he put this running back room together. And to be honest, this is really showing why you don't necessarily want to pay your running backs a super large amount of money, because these four guys are making almost as much as what Miles Sanders was, and you have some versatility now. Sirianni likes to ride the hot hand anyway, so if Rashad Penny's hot, he's probably just going to keep him in and feed him. If Swift's hot, I mean, we've seen him do it with Gainwell and Scott. Miles Sanders was hot last year a lot, so I'm anxious to see which way they kind of go, but I do see this as an upgrade. And I know it's hard really to say that the way the offense was last year that this is an upgrade, but I think because they have guys that fill specific roles, you're going to be able to keep them fresher, and you're going to be able to really maximize their strong suits, like Penny being the big bruising downhill back, Swift being the good receiver out of the backfield. And they're team-friendly contracts. They're kind of prove-it contracts where maybe they can go out and parlay that then into something for next year. But I think for the Eagles, I don't necessarily see running back being an issue this year, barring injury, obviously. Got to throw that caveat out there. But I think this whole running back by committee approach, Howie has sort of always been sort of on the leading edge of some of these things, and I think he's embracing that. And I also think it might actually take some of the pressure off of Jalen Hurts with the RPOs and things like that, which might be able to keep him slightly healthy, even though the shoulder injury last year came on a cheap shot when he was in the pocket. But I do see this being, like I said, an upgrade from where they were in 2022. Anxious to see just how this offense is going to be scary good. So today's question on the running backs, I don't think it's a question at all. I think they're going to actually be better. Subtracting Miles Sanders from this group and bringing in Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift, I think is going to make this unit better. So there is our question of the day, or our position or focus, whatever you want to call it, of the day. On this day back in 1947, Ike Williams knocked out Bobcat Bob Montgomery at the old Municipal Stadium, unifying the light heavyweight championship belt in a match. Really legitimately was a grudge match. Be sure to check out Back to the Future. Visit phillygoat.com. Use that promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. Check out 2008 Phils for all your Phils needs. Let's hope they don't play down to their competition this weekend and can actually take 2 of 3, maybe even sweep the Royals at home in front of the Citizens Bank Park crowd. Maybe Trey Turner will snap out of his slump. Whew. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Friday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.